guys, this is Renee. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this faux gold foil card. As you can see, this looks like foil, but it's not. And I'm going to show you how to recreate this technique. It's really easy. And it's affordable too. All the supplies you can find more or less at Michael's, or you can find substitutes for them at Michael's. So, what you're going to need is, first of all, you're going to need a white card base. You can choose to do this on black. I'm sure that would look great too. So you'll need a white card base. This is a close to my heart card base. You're also going to need some white card stock, and that's to create the little panel that goes on top. You're also going to need, well, you can cut it by hand or with your paper cutter, but I'm going to be using this 3" by 4" die from Mama Elephant. It's a Pierce die. And I'm going to be using this Hello die from the Stamps of Life. This is the coordinating die set that goes with the Bicycles to Stamp stamp set. So we'll be using these. You'll also need a die cutter of some sort or your paper cutter. We're also going to be using this. It's a dollar store. No, it's a dollar punch from Michael's. And I'm using the star because it matches my stencil. Speaking of stencils, I'll be using this one by Delusions. It's a whimsical star shape. You'll need a palette knife, or you can use a credit card. I'm using this palette by Try Art that I got on Amazon. It's a non-stick palette, and the paint after it dries just scrapes right off. You can see I've got some paint down here. So that is the other thing that we'll be using. You'll also need some burlap or some other ribbon of your choice. Then, what gives us that foil look are these metallic acrylic paints. And you can get these, I think there's a selection of like 7 or 8 different colors. They have teal, they have black, they have everything. Well, not everything obviously, but they have like a lot of colors. We're going to be using old gold, and we'll be using silver. So, let me first of all just run my paper through the die cutting machine. My plate's a bit used, as you can see, but it still cuts fine, so that's all that matters. So that's that. That just pops right out, mostly. I'm just going to put this to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put on our paint. So, position your stencil over your paper. And we will need a fair amount of paint for this. So I'm going to use some silver and some gold. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on my palette. I need a little bit more. Don't worry if you put down too much gold, because we are going to use more gold paint for our word die. Then I'm going to put down some silver. The silver is a bit more liquidy than the gold. So then we're going to use our palette knife, and I'm just going to take up a chunk, and we're just going to smooth it down onto the stencil. I'm not even really going to clean off the knife. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of the gold. And then we're going to make sure we fill in everything else. Now, you should make sure that you wash off your stencil right away. Okay, so I'm back. The next step you want to do is we're going to make the gold foil, or the foil paper, so that we can stamp our word die. Now I've already got some gold down here, and you can see that's already starting to dry. So what I'm actually going to do on the other side, because I have some of the silver paint left over, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to need a little tiny bit more, but I'm going to use that to make some silver to make a die cut out of, which I'll use on another card. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it down on our paper, and you're going to see it's going to go down really crappy first, and that's okay. You need to put this on in a fairly thick, or a layer thick enough so that it doesn't show any white through. So you're going to want to keep your palette knife actually fairly flat. It's almost like putting icing on a cake. So there, that's pretty good. And now we're just going to put that aside to dry. And you're going to want to get the paint off your knife pretty quick. When this is all dry, I'll come back and I'll show you how to assemble the card. Everything else is really easy because it's just pretty much we're going to put our die cut, and we're going to do our die cut, then we're going to put it together. And that's it. So I'll catch you guys in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I did use my heat gun to dry these a little bit because I got a bit impatient. Now you can see the shine on that right there. This was the one I did before. This one's just gold. And I just want to show you the difference between the just gold and the one with the silver. So this one here has silver on it. And you can see that it looks like a gold sheen over everything, but that's because a little bit of gold got mixed in with the silver. It's gold down here, and then it goes up to silver. So it's the same thing, same great shine. I think the gold is a little bit shinier than the silver. And this, as you can see in this, so there's the gold, and there's the silver. And this is what we're going to punch our words out of. I hope this is fully dry because I'll show you what happened on my last one. See if you can see it. So you see right here, there are these little tiny dots, and that's from my die that pressed into the paint because it wasn't fully dry. So we're going to see if it happens this time. So you want to position your die and then just tape it down so it doesn't move. And we're going to use the leftover space to punch some stars. So, let me just cut this really quick. And then I'll cut the silver one after. So, if it doesn't pop out, that's okay. It's still fully cut. Oh, this one has the little dots too. Again, I didn't wait for it to fully dry. I don't think it looks too bad. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to poke out all the little bits that you don't need. And as you can see, it looks like we've got a foil. Hello. Now, all we need to do is assemble the card. So let me just put this stuff here out of the way. Let me zoom in a little. There is one more thing you're going to need, and it's a corner rounder. I like this one from Close to My Heart. I used to use the EK Success one, but I found it didn't always give me a square, and by square I mean a level cut, and I would have to punch it several times. This one cuts really good every time. And I got this in one of the surprise boxes that you could have bought. So, now we've got our Hello die. We've got our background panel. Oh, we've got our a little bit of burlap or whatever ribbon you want to use. And then I've got my background and my star punch. Now, I used 6 stars on the last one. I'll probably use that again. So all you do is you're just going to use your star punch and punch out your little stars. Now one of them flew across my desk. I'm not really sure where it went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aha, 6. You might want to keep the cover closed And then they won't fly everywhere. So I'm going to zoom in. That's out, in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello. Background panel. And our hello die. And our burlap. Now, we are missing one thing, and that's our foam tape. You don't have to use foam tape. I like foam tape, so I'm going to use that. And what I've been using lately, I got these at the dollar store. You can see they're $1.29. And they come in little cubes. And you get, I think, you get 80 pieces. So you get 80 cubes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these. And I actually only need 3 of these. What I do is I cut them in half. Does anybody else have a dog? Do they find their dog hairs get in everything? Maybe I do need all 4. I can't quite remember. So we're just going to stick our dots down. Now you want to try really hard to get this centered. And if you've got stars that are directional, make sure they go on the right way. That looks about centered. Well, it's not quite, but that's okay. So you're just going to want to stick that down. And then we need to stick this down. And what I've been using is Eileen's tacky glue. There we go. Okay, so you're going to want to put, I put a bit of glue on my burlap. And now it's going to overhang a little, and I meant to put this on before. So now I'm just going to have to try really hard to get it centered. And we also want to put some on the card itself. I'm just guesstimating about where this will go. So now I'm going to take my burlap, put it onto my card. So that's the perfect size, I think. I like it to hang over a little. I'm just going to cut off this little string. Now you have to put glue on the back of your hello. The Eileen's tacky glue I find stays tacky. Hence it's called tacky glue. So I'm going to take a bit of the multi-matte medium. I'm almost out of this stuff actually. So I need more. And we're just going to place dots of it on our word. And we're just about done. All we need to do is adhere the word. And I do put dots on the top letter even though they hang off the burlap. And that's because I'm going to stick them to the card. So you want to center your word die. And just press down lightly. So often what I like to use is a stamp block. If you think that will make your die too, like, because there's glue on this one. Yeah, see the glue gets on my block. You can use other stuff. Like, how about this handy dandy remote control for my TV? So that will hold that there while we put the stars on. Same thing, we're just going to use some the matte medium, and we're just going to put our stars down. And I'm putting 3 in each corner. You don't have to put the stars down at all. Oh, no, oops. There's something we need to do before we put the stars on. And that's we're going to use our corner punch. So that all of our corners are rounded. In fact, you should probably do this before you put your centerpiece on. Otherwise, it's a bit snug to get it in there. Okay. Try that again. That was my fault, not the punch. There we go. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Make sure our die is pressed down here because that's drying. So we've got, maybe I'll just make 3 little dots on each side, and then we'll put the stars down. Now this is matte glue, so if it pokes out over the top, it's not going to make a difference. Oops. So this paint has become one of my favorite new things. I'm really in love with it because it's so sparkly. And it looks like gold foil. And that's it. That's our card. It's super simple. It does take a little time to wait for that to dry, but it's completely worth it. And you can make a bunch of these at one time. And you could do something that maybe says Merry Christmas. You can get Merry Christmas dies, right? So that's it. Then when you're ready, you just stamp your sentiment on the inside and you're good to go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Oh, don't forget to look into my my birthday challenge that's on the go right now. All you need to do is make a video response or send me a pocket letter or buy something from my shop, or all 3, and you get ways to enter my contest. Check that out. I'll keep the link below. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.